Hello, this is Dan Darby, meteorologist at the National Weather Service office in Peachtree City, Georgia, and this is a special weather brief on Tropical Storm Karen and its expected impacts across north and central Georgia. As of early afternoon on Friday, Tropical Storm Karen was disorganized and still over the central Gulf, currently located about a couple hundred miles south-southwest of the mouth of the Mississippi River. Wind speeds were around 50 miles per hour and movement was to the north-northwest at around 10 miles an hour. Karen is encountering some upper-level shear from the northwest and some dry air from the southwest, which is helping to keep it disorganized. It's no longer expected to strengthen to a hurricane, and it is expected to move more north and slow down early on Saturday, then turn northeast and speed up on Sunday. This graph shows some of the tropical models used by the National Hurricane Center, and it does continue to show a tight cluster over the north-central Gulf Coast region near landfall. Then it becomes more divergent as it spreads northeast into the state of Georgia, with some of the models tracking across North Georgia, some across central Georgia, and some across South Georgia. Two of the more commonly used forecast models used by everyday forecasters continue to show quite a bit of difference in timing and track on Karen, with the more favorable ECMWF or European model on the left being a little faster and tracking more into central Georgia, and that would be Sunday night. And then, of course, the GFS model on the right is much stronger and further to the east, tracking more across southeast Georgia Sunday night, early on Monday. This graph shows the latest three advisories as of early afternoon on Friday, and mainly just to show how consistent the Hurricane Center has been on tracking the remnants of Karen across central Georgia. Now, the forecast timing has slowed down a good 6 hours, with the system now moving into Columbus around midnight on Sunday. This forecast does show tropical storm force winds pushing into the Columbus and maybe near Macon area Sunday evening and Sunday night, but we're expecting some of those sustained winds to be reduced due to land friction and the weakening system. This is a close-up of the timing of the tropical storm force winds pushing toward Columbus. It does look like that the latest forecasts indicate that tropical storm force winds, or at least gusts into that range, could push into Columbus sometime mid Sunday evening. Now, we're thinking that the land friction and the weakening system, the sustained winds may be more in the 25 to 30 mile an hour range, but they are expected to gust into the 40-45 mile an hour range across parts of central Georgia, especially along and east of the track. With gusts being the primary concern, this graph shows the area basically along the center and to the right of the track, having the more likelihood of seeing those stronger gusts to 40-45 miles per hour. Spreading into the Columbus area and then across Macon and up toward Athens and Augusta Sunday evening and Sunday night. Expected rainfall impacts from the remnants of Karen as it moves across central Georgia Sunday evening, Sunday night. We're expecting more of widespread 1 to 3 inches with some isolated higher amounts, especially where the rain bandages occur, generally on the east and southern flanks of the center of the storm. This could result in some isolated flash flooding and some minor river flooding. Always one of the main concerns with any tropical system moving inland is the threat for isolated tornadoes. This graph shows some high helicity values basically along and to the right of the track of Karen. This suggests the potential for isolated tornadoes in these areas. But since the system is moving now across during the evening and overnight hours on Sunday, it does seem that the instabilities have been reduced, and this should reduce our potential for isolated tornadoes as well. In summary, forecasts from the Hurricane Center have been consistently moving the remnants of Karen across central Georgia, with the system now slowing down and not approaching the Columbus area until Sunday evening, and then moving across the rest of central Georgia Sunday night and early on Monday. Expected impacts from Karen include isolated flash flooding and minor river flooding From the expected 1 to 3 inches across the area, with isolated higher amounts likely wherever rain banding occurs. Isolated tornadoes are also a potential threat, especially to the right of the track. But with the system moving across during the evening and overnight hours, instabilities have been reduced, and we think this has reduced the threat for isolated tornadoes as well. Wind speeds are expected to remain under tropical storm force speeds, mainly in the 25 to 35 mile an hour range, with some gusts into the 40 to 45 mile an hour range. This concludes our briefing for early Friday. Continue to monitor for later updates to this developing weather situation as the remnants of Karen approaches Georgia on Sunday.